We're here with Brendan Ruggles from North Oldham High School in Goshen, Kentucky. Brendan is a middle distance runner. You consider yourself a middle distance runner?
Middle distance sprinter mostly.
Okay. And getting ready for state. Tell us about your season, how you built up to regional, how you're building up to state. Tell us about the events that you're focusing on. Tell us about your season.
Yeah, so during cross country, to start out with, I didn't really do too much of the cross aspect, not many miles, not many really pure cross workouts. So I mostly did a lot of tempo work and stuff like that during the cross season, getting to the track a few times a week, doing those type of workouts just to get me in shape for track season. But last year, I kind of focused a little bit on the mile too. But this year, we're really going to like the sprint aspect of especially the 800. So I got to run some 2s, some 4s, some 8s, which the 2 is very fun. It's become one of my favorite events, definitely. But right now, I definitely consider myself a 2-4-8 runner, especially with an emphasis on the 8. I haven't got to run it many times this year, but it's always a blast to run, and I'd say it's my favorite event. Okay. It's definitely the most tactical, and 400, I don't know, one day you could run a 48.5, the next day you can run a 48.7 without feeling too much different. But in the 800, one day you can go a 153, next day is a 157. It's definitely a more intensive sort of race that can be kind of crazy at times. Yeah, so yeah.
All right, so this year it sounds like you're wanting to focus on the 800. Mm-hmm. Last year, what was your focus?
Last year, I did a lot more running in general. I did probably like 15 miles last year. This year I'm probably down to probably 11 miles a week, I would say. Yeah. Definitely less mileage. Because last year I was trying to possibly get to Dream Mile. I think I could have gone this year if I wanted to, but I don't think that was necessarily in the cards for me this year. So, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you still have a pretty fast 1 mile mark of 4:34, 54. That's something to be aspired. Do you enjoy running the mile?
I did. It was, in my opinion, much easier than the 800. You just run a little bit and you're done. I ran a few miles. My favorite mile was probably Run Town last year. It was probably 25-mile-an-hour winds that just hit you straight on the first turn, and I had to lead the entire race. But I ended up finishing on top. I think that was my PR race, I believe, or very close to it. Okay. So I wish I could have ran another time, but that's sadly lost.
It sounds like you're the middle distance sprinter.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
All right. Sounds fun. As regional, you just got done with regional. Tell us about how your performance was at regional.
Well, in the 400, I was definitely looking to get 47.5 around there, because this year my 400s have not been too good in comparison to what I aspire to do. Yeah. I think that was because I was going out too fast. I was going at 22.4, 22.5, and then coming back in 26, which is not really how I want to run it. But regionals, I went 23 high and then 24.6, something like that. Right. So still not how I want to race, but I expected state to come out fast and really compete and hopefully win.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. What events are you doing at state?
State, I'm about 90% sure of this, but probably 4-8, 4x4. I think there's a world where I run the 4x8 instead of one of the individuals, but probably not.
Okay, yeah. Looking forward to watching that. The 4x4, how are y'all competing in that race state-wise, class-wise?
I think we have a decent chance of winning. I know at the regional meet, we came very, very close to beating Trinity. Yeah, I was off by 0.13, I think. It was quite an electric finish. Yeah, but I know that a Butler just came and dropped an insane time of 3:20, I believe, in the 4x4. So it's really going to be a race to watch. But I'm excited for it.
What other races do you have ahead of the state meet? Do you have any national meets coming up?
Yeah, I plan to go to a New Balance Nationals where I'll be running the 400, 800.
Okay. And have you run that race before?
Yeah, actually last year I ran the 400, 800 at New Balance too. Okay. I was hoping to go to Nike this year, but things didn't work out. But I think New Balance is obviously a great venue. Oh yeah. I'm excited to run that.
Next up for you, where are you going to college?
I'm going to college at Penn State, which is very exciting.
Okay. Why did you choose Penn State?
There's quite a few reasons. I had officials at, I think, 6 or 7 places, If you want me to name off, I can.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
so
why
I
not?
went to Miami of Ohio, just because both my parents went there, so it was kind of special to me. And then, oh gosh, Kentucky, Louisville, Penn State, Ohio State, Virginia. I might be missing one,
One that's not as ranked as high as Penn State
possibly. Yeah, but
on your list.
yeah, I loved all the schools, definitely. All the guys were really nice. I think the main thing when you're trying to look for a school is the guys that are going to be there, because especially like those freshmen, sophomores are going to be the guys that you're looking up to and you're going to be racing with and training with all the time. So you want to look for a group that's nice and they do activities together and there's really a good team aspect. So I think I would say that the guys are probably more important than the coaches most times.
So I imagine you met the team.
Yeah,
Okay.
I met the team. They're really nice. Also the coaches, Gondak and Foster, I loved. And especially their history in like the 400, 800, that combo, especially how they train that group specifically. I believe they have a 400, 800 group and an 800 mile group. So you can really specialize there, which I really enjoyed. A few places, if you run the 800, they're kind of gonna push you into the mile and maybe above that even in the future. Some colleges get you in and then they're kind of pushing on more mileage and more mileage. But that possibly could work for some people. It possibly could have worked for me. And I could have been more successful at a place that did that versus a place like Penn State. But I chose what was more comfortable with me and what I knew more, which was in the end Penn State.
Okay. What other reasons did you choose Penn State? What did you
They
like
have
about the school?
very nice facilities. I really like the campus. They have a very nice indoor track, which is pretty
nice.
important for a place like Pennsylvania.
That's awesome.
But they kind of have like a home base right there where you can do strides, you can do warm-ups. The weight room is actually kind of right inside where the indoor track is. And it's right next to the outdoor track, so everything is kind of compounded right there.
All right.
And also there's a lot of team spirit at Penn State, a lot of school pride.
Yeah, that sounds like an amazing experience you're going into. Be watching for sure. What are you majoring in?
I'm currently undecided,
Okay.
so yeah, no idea.
All right. All right. So let's talk about growing up. Just looking at you right here, I would view you as a basketball player. What? You probably hear that a lot. What sports did you play growing up?
I played soccer
Okay.
pretty much exclusively for the majority of since I was probably 7 around, probably very early. And I quit freshman year, beginning of freshman year, kind of early track season, because that's kind of when I started getting better at track, and I was probably at that point better at track than I was at soccer. And soccer is kind of sometimes a demanding sport. I kept getting kicked in the shins a lot, which is not amazing for track. So I eventually gave that up.
Okay. And how old were you when you switched from soccer to running?
Freshman year would have been 15, probably.
Okay.
around.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you've been running, imagine just since then, right?
Yeah,
All 4
track.
years.
Yeah.
Okay. When did you start cross?
Cross, I started in 2nd grade.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And then track, it's kind of hard to remember.
Yeah.
I did a few weeks, I believe, in 7th or 8th grade doing triple jump because my cousin had the school record for the girls here. So that kind of interested me, but it was a little hard on my knees, so I kind of took the rest of the season off.
Yeah.
And then when freshman year came around, I really got into the running part of it.
Okay. And for cross country, did you do that since you started continuously every year?
Yes,
kinda?
I skipped 5th grade because there was a conflict with soccer, but looking back on it, I definitely wish I did cross country. But
Yeah. All right. So it sounds like you love cross country so much because you did it for so many years, but you also love track and the 800. Which one do you like more?
I would consider myself definitely a really big competitor, so winning is a big part of my motivation for running.
Yeah.
And in cross, that was never really in the cards for me.
Mhm.
But the team aspect is much better in cross country because in cross, you all run the same thing. You kind of all have the same interests. You go on long runs together. But in track, there's like the sprinters, mid-distance, and cross, and those sometimes really don't mesh very well.
Yeah.
I don't really see our sprinters talking to our distance runners that much, and it's not really
Yeah.
close of a group.
I hear that a lot about the team camaraderie in cross country. So
Yeah, especially the pasta dinners and stuff like that.
yeah. All right. All right. So the 800, you're number one in the state. What do you feel pushed you to this level that you're at now? Like what main training regimen or anything you felt got you to where you're at?
It's kind of a hard question to answer. I feel like, well, I started at 800. I think my first ever one was St. X, my freshman year. It was a 4x8, and I ran like 216, I believe, on my leg. Which is obviously not amazing, but it's, I would say, pretty good for a freshman. And then I kind of got, next race, or a few races later, I went 208 at OC, then I went 203 at North, I think twice. It was kind of just natural progression from there. There was a few guys in the 800, especially like sophomore year, that really pushed me to be better, like Gus Tishner, especially. I talked to him quite a bit.
Okay.
But just those kind of guys I kind of looked up to, and I'm like, oh, I want to be that when I grow up, or when I get older, I want to hit those times.
Yeah, so you're setting the bar there, and you're just striving for it. So
Yeah.
that's what's pushing you to the next level.
Especially, I believe I ran against Gus Tishner, and then I forget the other person's name, at OC sophomore year, and I ran 158, which was the first time I ever broke 2.
Yeah.
Which was a really special experience, and they congratulated me after, and it was really fun.
Yeah. All right. So the mile, I'm not hearing the mileage is helping you because, I mean, well, the mileage helps, but it's not like higher mileage. What helps you get the speed that you have? Like,
I do a lot of, I would say, sprinter workouts, definitely. I've been having some foot issues. I don't know exactly how to describe it. That's limited the amount of distance I can do.
okay.
So kind of forced on me to do sort of more of sprinting. But I do a lot of flying 30s or float sprints, a lot of decent bit of block work, a lot of that stuff. And I think that's really important for a 800. I think if you can't take it out in a good speed, but with feeling comfortable, then you're not going to run a fast time in the end.
Gotcha. So lots of speed work. What is your favorite workout?
Favorite workout? Yeah. I like to say, I don't think I've done this workout in probably an entire year, but it was 4x3 x 300.
Okay.
Where we go, there's an easy pace, medium pace, and a fast pace, or a hard pace. It's like 3,200, 1,600, 800. And it goes like easy, medium, hard, medium, hard, medium, hard, or somewhere along those lines. So it gets progressively harder, and that's probably my all-time favorite workout.
Okay. Yeah.
I like a lot of like interval stuff like that.
Yeah. You mind if we share that workout?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll put that on there. All right. So you've got marks for the 200, 22:01, the 400, 48:48, 800 is a 153.
152.
152. Okay. And the miles are 4:34. Which is your favorite event?
Favorite event. First of all, I think that 400 is a little faster.
Okay.
It's 48.25.
That must be
But
decent. Yeah.
my favorite event is definitely the 800.
Okay.
I think 400s are really fun, and I'm pretty good at it. But you can only run a 400 kind of one way, you know. And the 800, I know one of my favorite 800s ever was the state meet sophomore year. I came through 400, I think 60.9, and I was dead last. And then I came back with a 56.9 to finish 4th. And that was a really special moment to me, but obviously that's a very big negative split. And then my PR all time, I went 2 seconds positive. Eastern Relays this year, which was like a half second off my PR, I did pretty much an exact even split. And then at regionals, just 2 days ago, I went, I think 5 seconds negative, which was definitely the craziest I've done.
Yeah.
I finished in 56.1.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a lot of ways to race it, and it's very, you just have to know how to race an 800. You have to be ready for it to go out slow, go out fast, go out kind of in the middle, and then finish strong.
Okay. So you love that race. What's the hardest part of the 800? I mean,
Hardest part of the 800, I would definitely not say it's the first 200. Probably the easiest thing ever. Second 200, I feel like sometimes I go a little slow in second 200 accidentally, but I'd say third 200, definitely.
Okay.
Or maybe that through 400 to 500, probably that curve.
Yeah.
Because once 200 hits, it's pretty much the race is over for me. I know I can close fast. I know I can compete in that last 200, and I like to say it just takes care of itself.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How about just a full workout day for you? Can you explain, like, just throughout the day, what you wake up and do regiment-wise, middle day, end of day, to top it off? Explain like a full workout.
Full workout.
Yeah.
I think workout days very quite similar to every other day. I'll try to prepare every day, no matter if it's a workout or a easy run or anything like that.
Yeah.
I wake up just kind of like the last second I can to get to school on time. I don't try to wake up too early.
Yeah.
Usually have like a yogurt and then banana. I go to school, have my lunch, which is, I kind of spread out my lunch. I've never eaten in the lunch period. I usually just spread it out throughout the day.
Okay.
Like an apple, sometimes Stacy's chips or pretzels, and then grapes, and then like a chicken sandwich or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I try to roll out before I run. And then after I run, I like to do some Theragun or whatever massage gun I have.
Okay.
I forget the name of it exactly.
Yeah.
But decent, medium bit stretching. I have a lot of different stretches for all my pains and like hip mobility stuff and stuff like that.
Okay, got it. Yeah, it sounds like that's a important part of the whole regimen is to iron those out, before get ready for the next day. Awesome. All right, so tell us what you love about the sport of track and field. What do you love the most about it?
Well, one of the things I love about track and field is the sheer competitiveness of it. I feel like in soccer, you can be a good soccer player, but you can't really back that up with numbers. Like, you can score a lot of goals, but those goals can be scored against bad teams. In track, you can run a time, and you can compare that to anyone you want to. You can run faster, and you can be 100th in the country, and the next race you can be 80th, and it's kind of like a very progressive sport. So the faster you go, the better you are. And that's kind of, you can measure that very easily, I guess.
Okay. What is your favorite pre-competition fuel?
So around
Pre-race.
2.5, or like usually like 2 hours 45, 3 hours out, I have a banana and I have 2 pieces of peanut butter toast. It can be toasted or not.
Okay.
Not chunky peanut butter. And that's pretty easily digested. I have my carbs, I have my protein, I have pretty much everything I need. I think I've had that exact same pre-race meal for the last 3 years or 4 years.
Okay.
And then right before I race, I usually have a goo. I don't like any of the berry flavors. I stick to like the chocolate and the coffee ones exclusively. So yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Thanks for sharing. All right. If you could tell your younger self who's starting to get serious about running something, what would it be? What would the tip be for you?
I would say stay consistent. I think consistency is the most important thing in track by far, especially in like the longer distances. I think Michael Phelps once said, like, if you skip one day, then you have to make it up with 2 days. So every single day, especially, I know a lot of these distance runners running 60, 70 miles a week. You miss one day, you have to make that up, and you can't really get that back sometimes.
Right.
So, and running in general is a very compounded sport. Like, I couldn't play soccer for a few years, take a few months off, come back and be great. But in track, that's not the case. You have to keep running and keep in shape and keep with that kind of mentality. So,
all right. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you at the state meet and be cheering for you.